Welcome to another episode of Ordinary Guys Bourbon. Today starts a special two-part episode, mini-series if you will, in Season 2, where we have two bourbon-adjacent offerings that we're going to sample. Also, en el episodio de hoy hablaremos exclusivamente en español.
Exclusivamente.
No, that's a lie. On the program today, a very special guest, a guy who's anything but ordinary, my good friend, Siddharta Azcona. Siddharta, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thanks
for having me.
Normally I start this off by saying, tell us a little bit about yourself. But we already know a little bit about Sid, right? So let's just skip that, right? And I was thinking today, you like to travel a lot.
Yes, I like it. Yeah,
And you've been to a lot of different places.
A couple of them, yep.
Yeah. But thinking about things, I mean, you're from Mexico, and out of all the beautiful cities that are in Mexico, right? And I've been to some of these beautiful locations, and they're all unique and special. But if you and your wife were going to take like a 9-day vacation, right?
Okay.
You and your wife in Mexico, where would you go? What would be your top places to go?
Around all Mexico, they want like a certain zone, like
No,
Mexico City.
The whole city is your playground, or the whole country.
The whole country, yeah. I think as any other place, I think it's good if you go maybe to a couple of days to a beach, a couple of days to maybe the city, a couple of days to a very nice place.
So where's the best beach? Because you can go on the Cancun side, right? You can go on the Acapulco side.
Yeah, no, but yeah, Cancun is superior. Yeah, Cancun, Playa del Carmen, Tulum, all those places are superior. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's Caribbean.
Just because the sand is.
Yeah, the sand, the temperature, also the waves. There are not a lot of waves. The calm beaches are long, so I think it's better. Yeah, definitely Cancun. I've been in a couple of them, and most of Mazatlan. Mazatlan is a very nice place also. A lot of party, but a place that has everything is Cancun and Tulum, Playa del Carmen, all that area.
And like Mazatlan, that's south of Cancun, isn't it?
No, Mazatlan is actually in the north. It's closer to the north part of Mexico, I think it's closer Mazatlan to Tijuana than
on the other side.
Yeah, in the other side.
Okay.
So it's a very nice place. It's a place where people like a guy that you and me know, Ken, that kind of guy who will enjoy Ken Fluff.
Ken Fluff?
Yeah, you know the guy?
Yeah.
He will enjoy a place like that. Yeah.
Ken can find happiness and joy. In any environment.
That's true though. Yeah.
Years ago, I read a news article, and that's the last I read of it, that the sand in the Cancun area was eroding into the Gulf, and like beaches were like just disappearing.
Oh yeah.
Was that a problem? Did they bring more sand? Did they put some kind of break in there so it wouldn't take the sand away?
As a lot of the things that happen in Mexico, they get fixed itself. So
yeah, okay.
Now there is another problem. Now the sand is there, but they have this like I don't know the name in English, but it's like a plant.
You can speak in Espanol.
And there's una planta, it's musgo. It's like a plant.
Okay.
That is all around on the beach in Cancun.
Really?
So now the problem is not that taking apart. It's like actually put it.
Push the weeds back. Push the weeds back. Okay.
Yeah, that's what is happening. Also not. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think another place is San Miguel de Allende. That's a very nice place.
Come again?
San Miguel de Allende.
San Miguel de Allende.
Yeah. It's like 2 hours on the north of Querétaro, maybe less, maybe 1 hour, and it's a very antique place with a Goth church.
Okay.
So and there is full of people from different countries. So I think it's a very nice place.
So now let me ask you a different question, because a lot of our audience is from Los Estados Unidos.
Yep.
What would be the safest places for a gringo and his esposa to go?
I think the best place to go will be Cancun, maybe.
Okay.
Playa del Carmen, all those places, because those places are made for tourists.
Yeah.
So, and all the safety, everything, they take care of all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Also Mexico City, but I mean, like everything, Mexico City is 20 million people, right? So definitely there are places like they're like a little bit dangerous, but there are very, very nice places like Santa Fe. Maybe, I think you've been there.
Oh yeah, Santa Fe is like Troy, Michigan, I think.
Yeah, and it's really nice. And from there you can go to any other place. and you will enjoy Mexico City from Santa Fe without a problem.
I've loved the time that I spent in Mexico. There was a story though. When we talk about like safety and Americans, and sure, I mean things have changed maybe with different things that have changed in society. But here's a story that you'll like. So we were down in I think we were in SLP.
Okay.
Okay, and I think it was a supplier of Valium was down there, and so it was me. There was another STA for Ford, and then there was like a young STA. Like this kid he was a baby. He was like 22 years old, right? And we went out and we went downtown and it's beautiful. I mean, beautiful. I mean, they had. I told you this before, I think. But we went out and there was like a church and they had a laser light show projecting on the side of the church, and we're on like a second story like outdoor balcony bar, right? And this kid is wearing like a $2,000 watch. This kid does not know what he's supposed to be doing, right? And at the end of the night, we couldn't find him.
The kid? Okay.
The kid. And there was a Ford of Mexico STA that was with us along with some people from the supplier, and we went back to the hotel and we're thinking, I don't know what happened to this guy, right? And the next morning we're still thinking, we don't know, like, should we report this? It's kind of an issue, right? And he showed up for breakfast that morning, with a smile on his face. I never saw that watch again, right? So I'm not sure if that was a lesson learned or not, but beautiful. Now, out of your other places that you've traveled, right? Where would you say the most beautiful place you've gone to is? Because you've been to a lot of different places.
Around the world?
Yeah.
See, I think the most beautiful place that I have ever been, I think it's going to be Kyoto, Japan.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, Kyoto is fantastic.
Because you're the same height as everybody there?
Yeah. And still, I cannot fit on the bus.
No?
No, because they're tiny.
well.
Yeah, so the same size, but like the fitting was still a problem.
But it was a beautiful city, beautiful people.
City. Yeah. What I say about Japan is that everything works over there.
Yeah.
I don't know how they make it work, everything, but also the mix between being on the city, high-speed train, a beautiful mall, and then you turn around the corner and you see a big palace, very old palace.
Okay.
And then being there for 2 hours, jumping out, and then keep going to the city. That mix, it's amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
I really like that.
That's great. So let's talk about what we're having today.
Oh yeah.
Because this is the first time we've had a non-bourbon on the show.
This is a break point maybe
Right.
for the show.
Well, again, it's part of a two-part series, right? But let me tell you a little bit about this, and
Yes,
we're gonna have some more dialogue as we start talking about this. But Chivas, is that even pronounced? Am I pronouncing it right?
Nah, that's fun.
The Chivas Regal extra blended Scotch whiskey with a Tequila Cask selection finish. Okay, beautiful bottle. First non-bourbon on the program. Adding an extra cask into the whiskey making process adds a vibrant new layer of flavor to our blends. That's what they say. A portion of Chivas Regal Extra Tequila Cask selection is finished in tequila casks, so only a portion is. Right, the rest of it's just the normal blended Scotch, resulting in an extra bold and rich interpretation that's full of depth. This blend is ready to change the way you see whiskey. That's what their website says. Chivas Regal, though. Chivas Regal. It was created in 1909 by Chivas Brothers master blender Charles Stewart Howard as a 25-year-old luxury whiskey. The company has ties much older than that. The Glenlivet, which is one of my favorite scotches.
Yeah, that's great.
One of the Chivas Brothers brands, actually, that's part of Chivas, was founded by George Smith in 1824. In 1836, George Ballantyne began aging whiskeys. In 1857, brothers John and James Chivas became Chivas Brothers in Aberdeen. In 1939, Chivas Regal 12 was introduced to the United States and became the definitive premium Scotch whiskey here. The lineup was expanded in 1987 with the introduction of old whiskeys, including Chivas Regal 18-year-old, Chivas Regal 25, Mizunara, the Icon in 2015, which was an offering costing several thousands of dollars, and 15 with Roman numerals in 2018. Chivas Brothers whiskeys also are enjoyed in over 150 countries. An incredible 496 bottles of whiskey are sold per minute in 2021. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is all made at the
I don't blame you.
Strathesla Distillery in Speyside. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it. This is going to be full of poor pronunciations because, originally founded in 1786 as Milton Distillery. It's the oldest working distillery in the Highlands of Scotland. According to Wikipedia, the Strathesla single malt is a core malt whiskey in all Chivas Regal blends. Quote, buttressed by malts from Langmorn, the Glenlivet, Alt Bane, Milton Duff, and Breval. Among others. I probably hacked all those names.
Who cares? Chivas,
Chivas, yeah.
Valentine's, Glenlivet.
Yeah.
We got
a couple. Chivas was acquired by Pernod Ricard in 2001, and Chivas Regal had previously been a sponsor for Manchester United from 2018 to 2024.
Best club in the world.
But now sponsors rival Arsenal in the EPL, as well as Scuderia Ferrari in Formula One. So those are my notes. But I'll tell you what, Chivas is very popular in Mexico as well.
Yes, yeah.
And we were talking about that a little bit before the program. Chivas, what does Chivas mean in Spanish? I found 3 different definitions.
Yeah,
what do you got?
There is one that is the most common. Is like a goat.
A goat?
Goat.
Okay.
There is another one that is the Chivas. Well, it's a goat, but it's also a soccer team. But also the one that I like most is a Chiva. That I don't think it's related to the whiskey, but it's like someone that is matched. So that's the most common use. Like that guy is a Chiva.
Do you know that Chivas is also sometimes in Spanish short for party bus?
Didn't know that.
That's what Gemini AI told us.
And the future is going to be on AI, so I need to start believing.
But in the last episode we made with Mike Franciscovich, we found 2 errors from Gemini AI.
Oh, really?
Just my research, which is not very deep. Also, I think Chivas is sometimes slang for cocaine or heroin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it could be Chivas, the soccer team. Is it Guadalajara?
Yeah, Guadalajara.
Yeah. Beautiful city.
Yeah, that's what I have. I have heard. Never been there. Well, just a couple of times, but.
I played soccer with people in Guadalajara.
Yeah. That's a very good place to say that.
Not because I'm like I was playing internationally.
But if the opportunity comes.
But I was at a factory and they had a soccer field there, and I said, "Hey, what's going on? Can I play?" I'm like, see, okay. But the Chivas soccer
game. Did you play?
Yeah.
Do you think it was a great game?
We had some Civic Effort. But Chivas soccer team. One of the things about it is it can only be. You have to be a Mexican national to be on the team.
Oh yeah. That's their branding.
Yeah, that's smart.
That's smart, but difficult. Well, yeah, there are not a lot of.
There are a lot of Mexicans though.
Not 11 that can play very well football. I don't know how hard it is.
I don't know.
11,
most Mexicans that I've played soccer with are phenomenal players.
They are great, but hey, where is the World Cup?
So look what we've got here today. We've got our neat sample, which is today in this fancy little shot glass with the what's that plant? The agave plant.
Agave plant, yeah.
So that's fancy. And then here, instead of the bourbon with some water, ice, or however. This is a whiskey Paloma that I got from the Chivas website.
This is a great breakthrough.
Yeah. So this is 1.58 ounces of Chivas Extra Tequila Cask Scotch, 0.7 ounces of grapefruit juice, 0.35 ounces of lime juice, and then 0.35 ounces of agave syrup.
Oh, you huddled that?
No, I did not. Agave syrup was $12 for a little container.
Yeah, okay.
Right? And we're still just starting off the program, right? So corners had to be cut.
We're getting close, but not there on monetizing yet, right?
Corners had to be cut. And there's no garnish, no grapefruit slice to garnish, right? No. I put some soda water in to top it off, right? But instead of buying the $12 agave syrup
and all the
stuff, they had a whiskey Paloma mix. $8.
And that
all
does
in.
the job. Yeah.
All in. So here's what we got. We've got our neat sample, and we've got the and now it's right back on track with the normal programming, right? So Cheers to you, Sid.
Cheers, my friend.
I love scotch. It's been a long time since I had scotch. You drink a lot of scotch.
It all depends on what is a lot.
Well, I mean, not like you drink a lot of tequila.
Yes, I drink a lot of scotch.
Okay. Is Chivas your go-to?
This one is becoming a good one. This specific one is great because I don't have very good comments about the Chivas 12,
Okay.
Chivas Regal 12.
Yep.
This one is good. My whiskey go-to now is a black label. Yeah.
Okay.
Johnny Walker is doing things great. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know why they changed. Maybe somewhere in the
I can't
organization.
keep track of the different colors. Right? There's blue, there's black, there's
Yeah.
red, there's green, there's platinum, there's silver.
I just discovered a new brand that does the same. It's called Whiskey Spot. It's on
Whiskey
the
Spot.
Yeah, it's a Spot. The brand is a Spot, and they have red Spot, yellow Spot,
Really?
green Spot. Yeah. They have it, and they are like also per years.
We might have to have another program.
Yeah, definitely, we can do that. I really like it. Expensive though, but it works.
Yeah. So this was I got this as a gift
Oh, okay.
from you, Sid, actually. I kind of this is kind of tacky of me.
It's from Mexico.
But we have to put in, when we talk about the affordability, we have to put in what the price tag was. So online at least, which who knows if that's right or not, but it says $70.
Yep.
Right? So it's $70 for this bottle. Man,
Pretty price.
I really hacked the hell out of these names.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure we don't get a lot of comments because we're still starting off, right? But I mean, just the names that I was Mizunara, right? Alta Bene, ALLTABHAI.
That's anything.
I've got no idea what's going on with that. Well, I'm sure that's
Altabine.
Ooh, that sounds good.
That sounds.
That sounds really good. I bet that's what it is.
That sounds Latin.
So we got the same score sheet as normal, right? So again, this is going to be a different type of score than what we normally have on the show,
Okay.
right? But I think we can still hold pretty true to these different categories, right? Heritage still maximum 20. It's got some heritage to it. Obviously, this specific blend with the finishing of the tequila casks.
Maybe
is
next new, yeah.
But the lineage of Chivas, the lineage of the Strath Isla distillery going back to 1786.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, clearly there's some life there.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I'm gonna
Something
go.
should have happened to make this thing real, right?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
so
I'm gonna go.
years.
I'm gonna go with a 16 on heritage.
Yeah, need to be a little bit.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa!
Yeah.
You're not having a good day tonight?
Yeah, but the break to the combination, like Scotch with tequila cast, is something new. It's going to be a thing, but it's new. I hope so.
Is Cristalino now officially recognized as a type of tequila, or is it still in the?
I don't think so. They just make it because it's just
great.
an old. I don't know if it's because they have the tequila añejo and reposado.
Mhm.
It's like old, but a little bit older. I don't know the number of years, but just the fact that they just filter it, that's what they don't want to recognize as a type of tequila.
Okay.
But I don't know. Maybe it will be a thing. I mean, it's good. When you combine with a beer.
I think in my life,
Mhm.
I think I could probably count the number of times I've had tequila on both my hands. Yeah. So I think I've had tequila with you a couple, 3, 4, 5 times,
Mhm.
right? And my good friends back in Michigan, I played soccer with Antonio and Raul. We've had tequila with Discada
Definitely, yeah.
2, 3 times. Raul and I have had tequila a couple times. But then I think maybe I've only had tequila 3 times separate from that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And it's all because you always get along very well with Mexicans, and I will assume that every Mexican wants to give you either a mezcal or a tequila.
Mezcal's terrible.
Yeah, I know.
Stop.
I know that you.
Just stop.
Yeah, I know.
Just stop.
I know. Hey, did you know that you didn't like mezcal before the day that we tasted on that restaurant?
I'd never had mezcal before that day.
So that was the first day.
That was the first day.
In your life, in all the times that you were in Mexico.
Yes. And
it was terrible. And yes, it was terrible.
And we had that, and it was so nice that they had invited us.
It was a great day.
The environment was beautiful. We were at a restaurant in Puebla. Puebla, and it was a really neat restaurant where the chef, there was no menu, right? The chef just, this is what I'm making today, and he was going to bring out 5 or 6 different courses.
Yep.
And the gentleman that was hosting us had selected some mezcals that he thought would go along with what we're reading. And you good?
Yeah.
Is it tickling you?
No. I just want to make sure that it was.
Every single time I took a sip of it,
yeah, I remember your face.
it was. Do I have to drink this? Do I have to swallow it? Is there a spittoon somewhere? Could I put it in a napkin? It was.
I saw your face and you were thinking should I drink this, or is this made for something else? Or
yeah, maybe it was supposed to be like.
It was too strong. It was a mezcal from Puebla, and it was too strong. But still, I think they tried hard. They did.
So
that's why.
And I wanted to appreciate and respect that.
Exactly. So that's why we cannot say too much.
But it was terrible.
But the mezcal.
Oh my goodness. This though. Let's go back to taste and drinkability on this. And this drink, I think I've had tequila maybe 10, 12 times, but I think I've also mixed a drink. This might be my 3rd time I've ever mixed a drink in my life.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't shook this one. Right.
The 3rd time. Okay.
Yeah. So, but this is delicious.
This is good.
And I like the Scotch flavor. Right?
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that you were bourbon guy, and they are different.
I was. But
they tried to say that they're kind of the same, but
they're very different, right? Because you've got a peaty taste here, and bourbon. Typically, all bourbons are a lot sweeter, right? And I like the sweeter bourbons, right?
But it's stronger. That I don't know, the Scotch they tried to make it soft, and that doesn't happen with bourbon.
But I started drinking Scotch when I was younger, and people would come to the house and they'd drink all my booze. But when I started drinking Scotch, they were like, we're not drinking that.
Really?
Yeah. That was the whole reason why I started. And I was on Scotch almost exclusively for years before I even started drinking bourbon.
I thought that you were like a bourbon legacy, but
No. I started drinking bourbon. I think the first bourbon I ever had was maybe in 2014.
2014. Oh, that's.
Yeah,
that's soon. No? It's early.
But I was a Scotch person.
Years.
I was a Scotch person, and maybe it was a little before that. But I was down doing some work at a supplier in Kentucky, and after we had successfully solved the riddle, Laura loves it when I say solve the riddle. We went out to a restaurant, and the VP of the company was, you have to try this bourbon. You have to try this bourbon. He brought Eagle Rare. He brought out Blanton's. And, that was back when you could get Blanton's everywhere, and it was $50 a bottle, and it was from that point on, it was bourbon exclusively.
The last time that I came here was Heaven Hill.
Yeah.
I tried in a bar, asked for Heaven Hill, but they gave me a Heaven Hill, not as good as the one we had.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit stronger than I thought. And I remember.
Yeah. Taste and drinkability. It's odd to score this one on a bourbon show. The maximum is 40, but I'm going to look at this and say we're grading this based on what we expect this to be, and I'm going to say I'm going to give it a 28.
I'm giving it a 30. Yeah.
And I think it could go higher, but now my palate is a bourbon palate.
That's true. Yeah.
But
so you need to keep a gap, so differentiate between.
But it's certainly interesting. You're just picking even numbers for your scoring to be easy. I see what you're doing there. Affordability, $30. 30 is the maximum. This was a $70 bottle. But I think this is a unique. It's also 1 liter, so this is an extra third, 33% larger than a normal bottle. And the bottle there's some fantastic art on the bottle. I know that's the next category. I'm going to give this a 15 on affordability.
I'm to match that. Because it's and this is not well, it is not common, the 1 liter with of this much.
I didn't realize it was a 1 liter bottle until you pointed it out before we started recording.
Yeah. And look at that. We're getting there.
We're getting there, slowly but surely. Keep in mind, we got a double header today.
Yeah.
2 episodes in 1 day. The 2-part series. So affordability, I gave it 15. You gave it a
15 too. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you. Yeah.
And then design.
The design is great. I mean, the bottle, it's consistent for the last 20 years, maybe. The drawings in here, they look Mexican, but they don't put the commonly, and they didn't change anything on that. So, I don't know. What do you think about that? I'll go for a 10.
It's a maximum of 10.
It's maximum.
You're maxing out the score. That's the most beautiful bottle, most beautiful presentation you've ever seen.
In my life, or
so like those tequila bottles. What are those tequila bottles that are like the white and blue?
I like better these ones. Those ones the with ceramic with No,
yeah.
I don't.
You don't have those?
No, I don't.
That's a Mexican thing though. There's a lot of pride in that.
It's
What about the Rock's tequila? Doesn't the Rock have a tequila?
the what?
The Rock, Dwayne the Rock.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson. Yeah.
How's his tequila?
It's good for mix.
What about like a Maestro bottle? A Maestro bottle's nicer than a Chivas bottle.
Nah, no, I don't like those bottles. I
The-
don't like those.
Noble?
Yeah, no, I don't like those. No, those. It's very difficult to carry on.
What are those
difficult to hide them.
The carry on. I know you carry on bags.
Difficult to
Oh
hide
my God.
them.
This guy. When we were coming back from Puebla, usually every time this is probably I probably have to edit this out.
But we still need to record it.
I'm gonna go for it. Every time I've flown back to the U.S. from Mexico, there's always one passenger on that plane that either has an enormous guitar, or an enormous sombrero, or a bag of bread. One of those 3 things, right? And so they're coming through, and the overhead bins are already full, right? And here they've got this guitar, or a sombrero, and it's not always a Mexican guy. I mean, sometimes it's some fucking college kid that bought a sombrero for a nickel or whatever, right? And he's bringing that sombrero back to I don't know why. Like, why do you need,
Well, where would you use it, right?
But we're flying back, and you've got your bag, you've got your backpack with your laptop, and then what else do you have? A bag of fresh bread.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, and I told you. And I remember your face. When I told you, hey,
you're that guy. You're that guy.
You're that guy. Come on, see, remember that guy?
So my final score.
My wife.
Well, and that makes it okay.
Yeah, because she's gonna say, yes, I asked you to buy that to have press for you.
But you also learned, because you were in the back of the plane.
Yeah, another good lesson.
And you also
my last flight to Mexico.
Yeah.
I invested $50 extra.
Yep, just for Comfort Plus.
Number 6, row number 6.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah. So game changer.
That's right.
And I was on the priority lane, so when jumping into the plane,
Oh yeah.
first thing on the first arriving.
That is huge.
When I sleep, blah, 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 blah. And then when arriving, it was the second on the immigration line.
Yeah.
So
and that's the thing. You think about it. If you're in row 40,
yeah,
right? Like that's 30 rows of additional people times 6, right? That's 180 people that are getting off that plane before you.
And
that's 180 people that are in immigration lines before you.
Yeah.
So
$50 very well spent.
Absolutely. Overall, what's your score? Look at you, all even numbers.
30, 40.
You just found the hack, I think. That's the cheat code.
65.
Well, you know, last episode we recorded with Mike Franciscovich, and he finished, I think, with a 69, which I thought was hilarious, and I had a 70. And I said,
He was looking for that number.
He made it. And he's real good with math, right? Because he's a machinist.
Yeah.
He's, you know,
precision, man.
Yeah.
It's 0.1.
He was thinking ahead, right? He played it off like he wasn't. But I said, this is the closest we've ever been on scores, 1 point off. And look at this. You got a 65, I got a 66.
66.
So, this concludes part 1 of our 2-part bourbon adjacent mini-series within season 2.
Yeah.
So Sid, this was Chivas Regal extra blended Scotch whiskey with a Tequila Cask selection finish. Until next episode, which will come out next week, which we'll record in 20 minutes. Cheers.
Bye-bye.